Today, I'm going to show you some great shoulder prep exercises that you can do to train safely while not boring yourself to death. I don't do these, and chances are you don't either. Despite a million videos on YouTube about them, almost nobody does these. Why? Because they're boring and they suck. Isolating the shoulder does have a place in rehab, but with limited training time, it makes more sense to incorporate more full body movements. To keep it simple, focus on these two cues when doing locomotion instead. Elbow pits forward and push into the ground. Those are two cues that you'll hear me say a lot in our program elements. There's rotator cuff activation intent throughout the moves I'm now going to show you. And focusing on those two cues will have you do that automatically, which will then become a part of your movement habit. And this is a big reason why people say their shoulders feel better after doing elements. And by the way, I like my shoulders. I've messed them up pretty bad in the past, so I don't take them for granted. So here are a couple moves that help me that I know are gonna help you too. So we're gonna start off with these elbow rotations and getting used to pushing into the floor. So get into this position with your shoulders over your hands, and all I want you to do is focus on rotating your arms so that your elbow pits are facing forward, and then rotating them back and going back and forth. Now do that a couple times and bring your elbow pits to the front and then just push into the floor. Drop your shoulders and then push again. Now put it all together. Rotate and push, rotate and push. Super simple, I know, but it's super important. Next up, we're going to use the twisting bear and focus on this rotation and pushing away from the floor as well as dropping ourselves closer to the floor. So we're going to start off in an A-frame. One hand forward, opposite foot forward, heels to the ground. As I drop my hips to the floor, I let my arm rotate inward. And as I return to the A-frame, I push away from the floor, rotating the elbow pit so that it's facing forward, push, 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 setting myself up for the opposite side. Letting the elbow rotate inward. Now, I rotate the arm, elbow pit forward, pushing away from the floor. Nice internal, external rotation as I'm performing the twisting bear. Next up, we have the crab. Now the setup for this is super important. And we're purposely going to take our fingers so that they're facing out to the side. What this is going to allow us to do is further rotate our arms so that we can pull the shoulders back and down, opening everything up here. Now, rotate inward to get a good feel for it. And once again, rotate your elbow pits so that they're facing forward, pulling the chest up, pushing into the floor. It's going to allow you to raise your butt slightly. Now, keeping this position, you can start to walk. But like I mentioned earlier, it's all about the setup, making sure that you're setting yourself up to being able to rotate the arms, pulling the chest up and pushing into the floor, and then keeping this position as you perform the crab. Now we can put those two movements together. And remember, the cool thing here is that this rotation of the arm and pushing into the floor becomes automatic. So you're performing your prehab movements, strengthening the shoulder while doing something that's actually enjoyable. Starting in our A-frame, we go into the twisting bear. Rotate the arm. This time, as we push away from the floor, we just bring our leg through, finishing in the crab position. You can even sit down. Focus on rotating the arm once again. Walk around a bit. Bring one hand up, pushing away from the floor, rotating that arm so that your elbow pit is rotating further outside. Pull the leg through, setting yourself up for the opposite side twisting bear. Leg goes through. Crab. Walk around a bit. Before I bring the leg through, I focus on pushing away from the floor, rotating the arm, pulling that leg through, setting myself up for the opposite side twisting bear. And there you have it, some prehab shoulder movements that don't suck.